بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الصلاة والسلام على خير الأنبياء والمرسلين وحبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين. Distinguished guests, brothers, sisters, dear viewers at home, Assalamu alaikum and good morning, and first and foremost Ramadan Kareem, and welcome to Morning Barakah Suhoor Special, exclusively live on Imam Hussein TV 3. I'm your host Ali Fadl, and from me and everyone here at Imam Hussein TV studios, we wish you all a happy and blessed Ramadan Kareem to you and your families and friends. Suhoor Special is aimed at giving you, the viewer, the opportunity to sit and reflect upon the last hours of the time available for you to replenish and eat a final meal before starting a new day of fasting, thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the opportunity. We've changed things up here at Morning Barakah Suhoor Special by focusing on topics that matter to you. Ramadan is a month of spirituality, so we're talking about more topics on how we can get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala during these holy nights. I've also decided to dedicate a whole episode to the teachings from the holy book of Allah, the Quran. This, and of course your usual hot topics, all related to the month of Ramadan, like nutrition and maintaining your fast at work and so on and so forth. You'll probably notice that there is perspiration coming out my mouth because we are sitting outside in a conservatory. The set you will see when it goes to the white shot is absolutely amazing and befitting of this Ramadan month. There are many different things around here that give you some indication that the month of Ramadan has started. You'll know and you'll see what I'm talking about later on, but it is cold, brothers and sisters. So I have my chai ready, I have my guest, and I'll welcome the guest very, very shortly. However, there's a lot to get through, and inshallah throughout this blessed month. However, for today, let me tell you what's coming up. Morning Barakah favourite, Sheikh Ibraheim Ansari returns to the seat as we discuss the link between Imam al-Mahdi, Ajjallahu Ta'ala Farajah Sharif, and Ramadan. That discussion starts off this show. Making a Morning Barakah debut is Quran Highlights, as I delve into the famous verses within the Juz' of the day, starting with Juz' number 1. And we end our show with Dua Baha, recited by the late Hajj Abbas Salihi. So that, brothers and sisters, is Tuesday, the 12th of March, the first of Ramadan, the month of Ramadan, and that's how we line up for the very first morning Barakah Ramadan Suhoor Special, befitting to talk about the presence of Imam al-Mahdi, Ajjallahu Ta'ala Farajah Sharif, and Ramadan. We're talking Quran highlights and ending with Dua Baha, insha'Allah. Hi there and welcome to the show. Now, Ramadan is a period of intense spiritual reflection, fasting, prayer, and charitable acts for Muslims worldwide. Within this month lies a deep significance, not only in terms of individual purification, but also in the anticipation of divine guidance and renewal. Imam al-Mahdi, Ajjallahu Ta'ala Farajah Sharif, on the other hand, is believed to be the ultimate manifestation of divine justice and guidance, who will emerge during a time of great turmoil to restore righteousness and equity. As Ramadan symbolizes a period of heightened spiritual awareness and preparation for Muslims, it is a time when believers seek to purify their hearts, minds and souls through fasting, prayer and acts of kindness. This spiritual purification, brothers and sisters, aligns with the anticipated arrival of the Imam, who is seen as the epitome of spiritual purity and guidance. So it's befitting to welcome the advent of this holy month with a discussion around the Imam's presence within us. And here to discuss this, my personal friend, as I mentioned, speaker, mentor, author, and Islamic seminary student, Sheikh Ibraheim Ansari. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikhna.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
How's everything? You okay?
Alhamdulillah wa shukr. How are you?
Not too cold, hopefully.
No, it's actually, this abaya is not too bad.
That abaya?
Yeah. You know me, I get hot really quickly, yeah.
Okay,
you can see this, by the way, but don't get fooled. Yeah,
You're okay?
I'm warm, yeah.
Because I'm going to put, I've got the chai ready.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the brothers and sisters can see this. It's absolutely fantastic because I've got this, what do you call this, by the way?
Qori. No, that's not a quri.
Quri.
That's a tirmis.
That's a tirmis,
Yeah.
right? So this
Quri is the
tirmis,
metal one.
yes.
Yeah.
That's a quri. I don't know if the
Ahsan,
brothers can see it.
No, that's a dalla.
That's a dalla.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's a quri then?
Quri is the metal one that you make tea with, that you make coffee with. So that's a dalla.
Coffee. Fine. So this brother and sister says shy. Sh-a-i. Shy. Okay? That has tea in it. Now, what is this called again? I've forgotten what this is called.
Tirmis.
No, in English.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Tirmis.
Doesn't matter. Okay.
Yeah, tirmis.
How many sugars, Sheikhna?
I live in Iraq.
That's 5.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to put you 2 because I'm going to be on the safe side. If that's all right with you.
Ahsan,
I'll put you 1 more.
jazakallah
Why
khair.
not?
That's it.
Sheikhna, I guess I wanted to just start off this this discussion by, first and foremost, welcoming the month, the significance of the month. So can you, in your own words, really delve into Ramadan and specifically what the prophets or the imams might have said about this blessed month while I pour the tea.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen wa salatu wa salam ala Muhammadin wa alihi al-Tahirin. First of all, Ramadan Mubarak to yourself, your family, to all the dear viewers, inshallah. Shahr Ramadan is a month of blessing, a month of rahmah, a month of mercy. It is a month that Allah Azza wa Jal, He, out of all other months, He decided for that month to be His.
Yes.
Which is why the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam would say, "Huwa shahrullah, laqad aqbala ilaykum shahrullah."
Yeah.
The month of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Yeah.
So first of all, knowing that this is the month of Allah Azza wa Jal in itself has its own specific blessed feeling.
Yeah.
That is from one aspect. From another aspect is the mercy that is intensified, the blessings that are intensified,
Yeah.
which is why the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam would even say, "Anfasukum fihi tasbih."
Okay.
Your breath, there is tasbih within it.
Right.
And this is as long as the intention of fasting remains. And I actually would like to use this opportunity to remind everyone, inshallah, that the intention to the fast of Shahr Ramadan is of the most vital acts of the month of Ramadan.
The intention?
The intention to fast in the month of Ramadan.
Just the intention to fast is one of the most vital acts.
Yeah, because if you do not make the intention, or if you lose your intention, it has a ishkal within your siyam. But that's a jurisprudential discussion. Let's not delve into that. So what I would like to remind everyone, inshallah, since this is the eve of the first of Shahr Ramadan.
I just want to excuse you for a second.
Yeah, jazakallah khair.
This is going to be a bit of noise.
Jazakallah khair.
Yeah. That's all right.
Yeah, no, adi.
Hey, العفو
But I'll do that myself.
لا لا,
Thank you so much.
It's okay.
Jazakumullah
تفضل
khair.
شيخنا.
So that is from one aspect, the intention.
Yeah.
نومكم فيه عبادة.
Right.
There is worship within your sleep, etc. However, since we are talking about Imam al-Mahdi, I want to go back to what the Prophet started with. And this narration, many people do not know that it was actually of those narrations that were passed down through Amir al-Mu'mineen salamullah alayh to his sons, to Imam al-Rida, and he is the one that narrated it. The khutbah of
نومكم
فيه عبادة, the whole sermon of the Holy Prophet in welcoming the month of Ramadan.
Was that the first time that he spoke about Ramadan, the Prophet?
That is the first sermon in which he welcomed Shahr Ramadan in that public
after the migration.
State. This is after the migration. Yeah, of course. This is towards the end of the life of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he would say, لَقَدْ أَقْبَلَ إِلَيْكُمْ شَهْرُ اللَّهِ. The month of Allah has come forward to you. And look at the beauty. أَقْبَلَ إِلَيْكُمْ. Not you went to the month of Allah. No, the month of Allah has come towards you.
Okay.
لَقَدْ أَقْبَلَ إِلَيْكُمْ شَهْرُ اللَّهِ. The month of mercy, blessings and forgiveness. Understanding who Imam al-Mahdi is and understanding the right of your Imam, you will know that mercy only reaches you through the presence of the Imam.
Right.
And blessings only reach you through the presence of the Imam. So even those blessings that the Holy Prophet was talking about that we will receive in the month of Ramadan are only because of the presence of Imam al-Mahdi. For if he was not there, the blessings would not reach, the ghufran does not reach, and nothing else would reach. This is of the rights of the Imam that we have to know.
Okay.
So in welcoming the month of Ramadan, let's understand not only did the month of Ramadan come to us, we have been blessed to live the month of Ramadan and to fast the month of Ramadan through the presence of Imam al-Mahdi al-Muntadhar ajallahu ta'ala farajahu al-sharif. This is a very quick summary.
Fantastic. So since you've mentioned Imam al-Mahdi ajallahu ta'ala farajahu al-sharif, what role does he have and how active is he in this month?
So the roles of Imam al-Mahdi ajallahu ta'ala farajahu al-sharif in general throughout the year are, for example, on Fridays he would receive the a'mal of of his Shia,
Yeah.
where he would go through them, etc. And we always use that as a reminder to remind everyone that you can only imagine that on a Friday is when the Imam would receive the A'mal, and if we want to be of the companions of the Imam, then we need to think about what he is reading about us.
Absolutely.
Imagine it to be your CV.
Yeah.
And he's going through the CVs, and every single Friday you're submitting your new edited CV.
Yeah.
So that's from that aspect. From another aspect, in the month of Ramadan, there is a very important issue. طبعا. The sermon of the Holy Prophet says, هو عند الله أفضل الشهور. It is the best of months.
Fine.
One of the reasons why is because it contains Laylatul Qadr.
Okay.
Of course, Shahr Ramadan is going to be of the best of months because Laylatul Qadr itself is better than 1,000 months.
Yeah.
So imagine the month as a whole. So one night is better than 1,000 months. In this night, other than the fact that the decree for the next year will be written,
Yeah.
there is something very important, which is the fact that the angels descend on a day like this.
صحيح.
تنزل الملائكة والروح فيها. Here, there needs to be a question that gets asked. Do the angels come down to everyone? Do the angels just come down to the earth to do nothing? Surely they have come down on a mission. Or surely they have come down towards something specific. It's not something that you can imagine that Allah sends angels and وَالرُّوحُ فِيهَا, and He gives it this magnificent state in the Quran for them to be just floating in the sky. Surely there is a destination that they should reach. This destination that the angel reaches to cannot be of anyone. Has to be a specific individual that has specific characteristics, and such an individual can only be a hujjah of Allah. Therefore, the nuzul of the malaikah on the nights of Qadr is to who?
To the Imam.
To the Imam. And without the presence of the Imam, is there a nuzul?
No.
There cannot be, because there would not be a destination. So that's why when I say the mercy that we receive from Allah Azza wa Jal on this blessed month is through the presence of the Imam. Laylatul Qadr in its entirety does not get completed if part of it isn't the nuzul of the malaika. If that is part of it, then that in itself does not get completed without the presence of the Imam. So therefore, one of the most vital roles that the Imam plays is the fact that he allows for the presence of the angels in this earth, he allows for the mercy to reach us, and he allows for the blessings of the nights of Qadr and the entire month to reach us. And this is something that maybe is easy to be said, but I genuinely urge all my dear brothers and sisters to ponder about what I just said. The fact that the Imam is the station between us and between Allah Azza wa Jal. The station of mercy is where? Imam al-Mahdi.
Right.
It is through him that we receive this mercy from Allah Azza wa Jal. Can we receive mercy directly? That's a different bahith. But what we are talking about is the fact that the malaika are coming down, and if you can give me a different person that the malaika come down to, jazakallah khair. But if it's not a hujjah, then it cannot be. And the only hujjah that we know on this earth is Imam al-Mahdi.
As a side note,
Yeah.
We know obviously that the Imam is being sustained physically.
Now,
Now, of course, we don't see him, but he is alive. And when I mean by alive, as in physically, we're talking about him being alive, right? Breathing, heartbeat, all of that stuff. So he is technically fasting
yes.
as well. Of
Yes.
course, like he's fasting as well. No, I just thought that's such an amazing feeling that the Imam is also, does he do suhoor? Like, I don't know how it works, but like.
Surely. One of the things is because the Imam is in occultation and he's not raised to the sky like Nabiullah Isa was,
Right.
and he's not hidden in another sense. The fact that he's in occultation means that he lives amongst us. So not only does he fast, but he fasts, and potentially I'm saying, he would break his fast amongst other believers.
That's amazing.
And I think if that is just something that a person keeps in his mind, that the fact that at any point in your life, there is a possibility that you might have walked past the Imam. And just having that in mind, now imagine in the month of Ramadan, how that is intensified. That's from one perspective. From another perspective, does he have futur and suhoor? It's a good question, by the way. And although I haven't met the Imam, I will tell you he did. As someone is going to say, look at what Ibraheim is saying. The only reason is because iftar and suhoor is mustahab. And surely the Imam would not leave something that is mustahab. So there's a reason why I said that. So because of the istihbab, he did. However, there is a nice thing to remember. inshallah, from tomorrow onwards, when you sit down to have iftar, what is the dua that you usually recite before you break your fast?
اللهم رب شهر رمضان الذي أنزل
No, other than that. اللهم لك صمت.
وعلى رزقك افطرت وعلى يوم غد نويت.
So اللهم لك صمت وعلى رزقك أفطرت. And then it's idea that you are thanking Allah Azza wa Jal. This narration is narrated to us by Imam Al-Sadiq alayhi afdal salatu wasalam. When he mentioned this narration, he said the one who recites this at iftar time receives the reward of all the people that were fasting on that day.
Subhanallah.
Do you know what that means? You receive the reward of every single Muslim that fasted on that day, including every single scholar, including Imam Al-Mahdi. Now you imagine that by doing a simple dua like that at iftar time, how you are connecting to the Imam, Not only that, you have taken a share of the thawab. And the most complete fast in these days is whose fast?
The Imam's fast.
The Imam's fast. Now imagine you can take that thawab with you as well. This is inshallah a glad tiding that people can take before the month starts, inshallah.
So look, I mean, there are obviously many different events that will that are linked to the Imam's reappearance. I'm not going to name them, but there are many different events that we can see that this is a prophecy that is linked to the reappearance. Will it be the month that he'll reappear in? You know, in terms of. Sorry, I know.
No, that's a good question.
Your tea is getting cold.
That's a good question.
I'm going to go to a break, by the way. Just answer this question. We'll go to a break. We'll make sure you finish your tea.
That's fine. In terms of the reappearance of Sahib al-Zaman, there is a difference of opinion of whether that would happen in the month of Ramadan, and there is another opinion that says in the month of Muharram.
Yeah.
However, the signs of his reappearance, some of the most major of signs, will happen in the month of Ramadan, and that is definite. For example, the kusuf and the khusuf, the eclipse and the lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse, would happen, of the ones that would be a sign of his reappearance, not the normal ones. There's going to be a major solar eclipse and a major lunar eclipse. Both of them will happen in the month of Ramadan. Now, that is talking about these types of falaki signs, etc. We'll put that to the side. We have a narration from our beloved Imams where they mention 5 specific signs, in which they don't mention these, but the signs where you know for a fact that after these happen, that the Imam will reappear. And these do not repeat. See, eclipses can repeat. These signs that they mentioned do not repeat. For example, the rise of Al-Yamani, the rise of Al-Sufyani. For example, you have قتل النفس الزكية by the Kaaba. It's not something that will be repeated. Of them is the Sayha of Jibreel alayhi salam, where he would call between the earth and the skies that your Imam, the Imam al-Qa'im, is going to reappear, so prepare for his reappearance. That call will happen in the month of Ramadan. That we have narrations about. Now you imagine the Sayha is potentially one of the closest of signs towards the reappearance of the Imam, to the extent where it is either after the Sayha that he will reappear instantly, or after Qatl al-Nafs al-Zakiyya. Of the debates that they have is, for example, that al-Nafs al-Zakiyya, when he gets killed or when he attains martyrdom by the Kaaba, the Imam would reappear instantly. And that is one of the final, or not the final, that is the final, not one of the final, that is the final sign in which the Imam would reappear in. As-Sayha, they say it is the time of Dhuhur. What is the difference between Dhuhur and between the fact that he will reappear in complete reappearance? Dhuhur is when the 313, if you like, and those other individuals will now recognize the Imam is around them. And that is how Nafs al-Zakiyya would also receive a letter, because Nafs al-Zakiyya, what does he do? He receives a letter from the Imam, he goes to the Kaaba, and he reads this letter out to the people, in which he informs them that, by the way, your Imam is going to reappear now. Then, how is that going to happen? That happens after the Dhuhur of the Imam, because anyone cannot just meet him in this sense during his ghaibah. When does the Dhuhur happen? After the Sayha. So one of the most important parts of the reappearance of Sahib al-Zaman is actually after the Sayha of Jibreel alayhi salam, and that Sayha will happen in the month of Ramadan. And I think this is one of those signs that every month of Ramadan the Shi'i would yearn for.
Quick question. Is there a specific time between the Sayha and the Dhuhur?
So the sayha will happen, the Imam will have dhuhr, but not the public appearance by the Kaaba. So there's two dhuhurs to the Imam. There is one which is the private dhuhr, if you like.
Yeah.
That is where, well, this is debated. However, the general idea is that is where some of his close companions will know of his presence. And the people would also know of his presence. The same night, there will be a second sayha, but not from Jibreel. That second sayha will be from Iblis, where he will make a call towards As-Sufyani and say he is upon the truth.
Yeah.
By this time, the people are still not sure what is happening. Al-Zahir is that after this, Nafs Zakiyya receives the letter, he goes to the Kaaba, he reads out the letter, he gets killed, the Imam would reappear in Muharram. So between Ramadan and Muharram is when all of this takes place. However, when does it get kick-started? In the month of Ramadan through the Sayha of Jibreel.
I'm going to let you have your chai.
Jazakumullah.
Zain Sheikhna. We're going to go to a small break, brothers and sisters. When we are back, we're going to go very quickly into how to build the relationship with the Imam during this holy month. Stay with us.
Anything you spend, He will replace it. He is the best of providers.
It's cold, brothers and sisters. Welcome back to Morning Barakah. I am sitting outside. Technically, this is a garden. It's been converted into a very, very beautiful seating area. As you can see, I want to go back to the wide shot, please, technicians. I really love this set. It's a Moroccan style ga'da, we say, a couch, a relaxation area. In the summer, it's fantastic. In the winter, there's also a kind of little fireplace that they put as well. So it's really nice.
I think this is when you need the fireplace, isn't it? When you were this cold.
No, the problem is, with the fire, you got to get coal and charcoal.
Sahih.
But charcoal, dukhan on your clothes.
So now that we're on dukhan in Arabic words, what's this called again?
Tirmiz.
That one?
Dalla.
Yeah, smashed it.
Yeah. And then there was one more, which is the quri.
Quri.
Yeah. The quri is the big metal one.
Yeah, the one that you make tea in.
Yeah.
On the stove.
On the stove.
Or on the barbecue grill.
Or on the barbecue grill.
Yeah.
That's in the summer months.
That's in the summer months.
Put the barbecue.
Just after you've done the kebab.
Just after you've done the kebab. Yeah. Now, we focus our attentions, brothers and sisters, back to Imam Mahdi Ajjallahu Ta'ala Farajahu Sharif. The reason why we are mentioning the Imam is because, number one, he is alive and present, and according to the Sheikh, he is completing his fasts. And it's also recommended to have suhoor, have something to eat before you start your fasting. And of course, it's going to be recommended to break your fast with food. The Imam does that because it's mustahab, as the Shaykh mentioned, which is fantastic to hear. But not only that, his version of fasting is the complete version. So his level of fasting, shall we say, is the perfect level. And because he's doing the same, and we know that we obviously get the benefits of all of the people that have completed their fasting, because we are saying the dua, which says
Allahumma laka sumtu.
Allahumma laka sumtu wa ala rasaka aftartu wa ala yawma ghadin nawaitu. I don't know if we just added that, by the way.
Yeah, that's fine.
Wa ala yawma ghadin nawaitu. Is that added?
عادي بكيفك.
Is that okay? Maybe my mom and dad told me, listen, make sure you say that as
no,
well. So I've grown up with
that's part of the intention that we're mentioning earlier.
So because of that, you get all of the benefits of the thawab of the people that have completed their fasts, including Imam al-Mahdi Ajjallahu Ta'ala. So during this month, very, very quickly before we have to end with our dua, inshallah, in the next 5 minutes, how do we build our relationship with the Imam of our time?
Most vital thing actually is to utilize this opportunity of the month of Ramadan. Because there's actually two parts to this answer. Let's go from the dua aspect. We'll cover that very quickly. In the fact that, for example, remembering the Imam in your dua, because one of the recommended acts during the month of Ramadan is to strengthen your ties with your family.
Yes.
It is to take care of the orphans. Yes. It is. Of them is to make dua for your believing brothers and sisters.
Okay.
And of the people whom you have to make dua for is the Imam of our time, Ajal Ta'ala Farajuh al-Sharif. And of the most beautiful du'as that we were given, through which we pray for the Imam, was given to us by the Imam himself through his nuwab, most likely the Na'ib al-Thani Muhammad bin Sa'id, which is, or al-Hussein ibn Ruh, there's difference of opinion, which is dua al-Iftitah.
Okay.
And in that dua, you say, Allahumma inna narghabu ilayka fi dawlatin karima tu'izzu biha al-Islam wa ahla, etc. This is from one aspect. From another aspect, Allahumma wa salli ala wali amrika al-qa'im al-mu'ammal wal-'adl al-muntadhar wa huffahu bimalaikatika al-muqarrabin wa ayyidhu bi ruh al-Qudus ya Rabb al-alamin, etc. So these du'as, where you make dua for the Imam, try to connect with the Imam through them, especially that you were given it to by the Imam.
So after the Imams, you mentioned all of the Imams, you mentioned the Qa'im. After that, it's all about Imam al-Mahdi.
After that's all about Imam al-Mahdi, in which you make dua through him, allow our prayers to be answered.
Subhanallah.
That is part of what you make dua with. Then after you do these things, وَأَنْجَحْ بِهِ طَالِبَتِنَا أَنْجَحْ بِهِ, who's bihi? Who does the dhamir go back to? The bihi goes back to Imam al-Mahdi. So this is from one aspect. Then you make a dua for the establishment of that great government at the end of time. This is from one aspect. The second aspect that I'll mention very quickly, inshallah, is that Imam al-Mahdi, Ajal Ta'ala Farajahu al-Sharif, is looking for companions who are filled with piety. I mean, I am sure that the 313, no one is going to claim that they do not have piety.
Of course.
Then, Amir al-Mu'mineen, Salamullah alayh, at the end of the sermon of the Holy Prophet, he narrates, قُلْتُ, Amir al-Mu'mineen says, قُلْتُ, Ya Rasulullah, what is the best deed in the month of Ramadan? The best deed. Look at who's asking the question and look at who's answering. Rasulullah answers Amir al-Mu'mineen. What does he say? He says the best deed in the month of Ramadan is to stay away from that which Allah has prohibited. Then if this is the case, that is what builds piety. That is what builds taqwa. Ramadan is that time in the year that allows you to start from a clean slate. Hence you start, your heart is ready to accept. You are in a position where the Prophet describes أَبْوَابِ النَّارِ قَدْ أُغْلِقَتْ. The doors of the fire of hellfire have been closed, they have been shut. Use this time to get closer to the Imam. Use this time to strengthen your piety. It is a time when your heart is ready, when your basira is ready to be opened more. Through this, I strengthen my piety. I build a relationship with the Imam. I remember the Imam. Most of us are awake during Fajr Salah during this time. Maybe that isn't always the case during the rest of the year. After you finish your Salatul Fajr, one of the most recommended du'as to read after Salatul Fajr instantly is Du'a al-Ahad, where you make a promise to the Imam, talk to the Imam, strengthen your relationship with the Imam.
Shaykhna Ahsant, wallah, I wish we could have carried on more. There's more points that we wanted to speak about, but unfortunately time is not with us, unfortunately. But Shaykh Ibraheim Ansari, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Inshallah, we're going to see you this time next week.
Inshallah.
So maybe we can continue maybe this discussion and we'll choose another topic.
Inshallah.
But we look forward to seeing Shaykh Ibraheim, inshallah, this time next week. Now, before we go to the dua, as I mentioned before, that this special set, essentially, has been provided generously by Ocean Link Construct. Basically, everything you see has been designed and built by this local company who operate within the Greater London area. Those of you who are Iraqi and live in northwest London, the man's name is Safa Shimirti. You must know him, Abu Sajjad otherwise. He has 35 years experience, or 35 years plus experience in design, planning, application, construction, extension and full renovation. And this beautiful conservatory, which has been changed and converted to an outdoor lounge, is just one of their many wonderful projects. Details are on your screen. Do contact them for further inquiries. Now, lastly, I usually end the program with a specific dua from Dua Sabah. However, I want to end the program with a dua of moon sighting, because tonight Many of you have probably seen the crescent, small crescent moon, signaling the advent of the month of Ramadan. Now this specific dua, amazingly, has been given to us by Imam Ali alayhi salam in Sahih al-Alawiyya, in which he says, when your eyes fall on the new moon, you must not point to it. Rather, you should turn yourself towards the Qibla, raise both your hands towards the sky, and address the new moon with the following words. Allahumma ahillahu alayna bil amni wal iman, was salamati wal islam, wal afiyati al musajjalalati, wal rizqu al wasi', ودفع الأسقام اللهم ارزقنا صيامه وقيامه وتلاوة القرآن فيه اللهم سلمه لنا وتسلمه منا وسلمنا فيه. Quite difficult, however, that is Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib. Oh Allah, make this moon as a faith and protection for us. In it we are safe and sustenance is increased and the sick are cured. Oh Allah, by your grace grant us the power to fast, pray and recite the Quran in it. Oh Allah, make it safe for us and from our side and grant us your protection in this month.